Hello, my name is Ronald, and yes, we are here with one of our friends, that is Trevor, the current Mr. Y Plus, that is 2022-2023. So we're going to have a very wonderful conversation with him, and we hope that this is just to enlighten you about a few things that you've not had in a while, or that you've had but you have a bit of questions as young people about it. So yes, Mr. Trevor. Uh, Looks like I've said your name, but you can try to tell us your full name, sir.
Okay.
And I'm just seated here, but I don't know what Mr. Y Plus means. So you also elaborate to us something about that.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. Once again, my name is Imojel Trevor.
Yeah.
I am the reigning Mr. Y Plus Uganda 2022-2023.
Yeah.
So what Mr. Y Plus is about, Mr. Y Plus campaign, it is called the Y Plus Beauty Pageant. It's a campaign that brings together people living with HIV as advocates to challenge stigma in their communities.
So it's like a beauty pageant.
Yes.
Is it for only men? Because I always see Mr. Mr. Is it for only men? I would love to know.
So the Y Plus Beauty Pageant is for people living with HIV. It is not confined to men. It is for both ladies and men. And the ladies have very beautiful crowns. If you see the Miss Y Plus, they really look very beautiful in their crowns and sashes.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So they have a crown.
Yes, they have crowns.
Gentlemen don't have crowns.
No. We are also going to advocate for crowns. We have
Gender equality,
yeah,
of
gender
course.
equality. We also need, because all kings have crowns, but we do not have.
You don't have one. Yours was taken.
Ours is-
Yeah. So now we want to know. There are a couple of questions that young people would always want to find out from someone that has opened up about their HIV status. And this is not just going to be an interview session. We have people that are here with us, young people that are here with us, and they would really love to know some things from you being Mr. Y Plus, you opening up, and you being able to come through to say I am positive and I am standing out for the young people, to advocate, to inspire. Yes. So there are lots of questions that goes around that.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my guys are here. They have so many questions, and they have. I just want to give them a chance to ask so that we can circle our discussion around the questions that they're asking. Yes. So we want to know who wants to go first. Yes.
Yes, please.
So I've been asking myself this question. Now you're going to answer me. So how have you managed to live with AIDS?
Thank you so much.
How have you managed to live with AIDS?
Yeah.
So beginning with, I was born with HIV. That is some years ago, before we were born. But living with HIV has actually been a journey. Let me correct you, I've not been living with AIDS, because AIDS is the advanced HIV where you have a lot of other opportunistic infections. I've lived with the virus, HIV.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Living with HIV is not living with the virus.
No.
The virus and HIV are two different
They
things.
are two different things. Now, when you have HIV, you're HIV positive. Now, when you do not adhere to your medication, or when you do not start medication, you get AIDS. So AIDS is not one disease; it's a collection of other infections. Like you can get gonorrhea, you can get tuberculosis, and other meningitis, things that come as a result of advanced HIV. Yes. So how I've been able to live with the virus? First of all, I began medication early. And it is medication that keeps one's life moving. There is no limited life to how long you can live. You can live to up to 60 years, 70, 80, depending on how good you are with the medication.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Have you been answered? So you've been asking yourself, how have you been living with HIV?
Yes.
But I think he has answered you very well. Yes. Someone else.
Yes, please.
The fronters. Backbenchers are waiting. Okay.
So my question is, how did you manage to achieve that poster of being Mr. Y Plus? Because I think it is something hard to achieve. And how are you going to help other people out there who are having HIV to improve on their standards of living and their medication.
Okay. Thank you so much. I wish you'd be mentioning your name such that I refer you by your name. You are
Peace.
Peace. So Peace, beginning with when we hear about a beauty pageant, this is not a pageant that judges on looks. I know I'm handsome, but it is not what is used to judge. So number one, this campaign is an anti-stigma campaign. So you come out, you know you're HIV positive, and you want to speak to the world and tell them it is okay, I'm positive, but I'm also intelligent. Number two, also it depends on how much you know with regards to HIV. So the guiding criteria is your ability to speak up against HIV stigma. Number two is your level of knowledge. How much do you know? And then number three, how do you present yourself as a leader? Because at the end of the day, they are looking for someone that is going to advocate and speak on behalf of people living with HIV. So what I've done personally is I have moved to spaces. I have spoken to young people, and I've just gained the position, so I'm looking forward to doing a lot more.
Wait, does this mean to go in for this the pageant, the Mr. Y Plus thing, you have to have come out and opened up about your status? Or I can also go and then I say you don't have to pronounce me as Mr. Y Plus. But I want to participate. Is it restricted to people who have opened up?
So now that is killing your shine if you decide to say I'm Mr. Y Plus. I think you do not want to let people know. The entire idea about the campaign is to show the world, to show the communities, to show people that you are positive, that you very much willing to show yourself and advocate. And that's the only way we can fight stigma, because stigma is you fearing and staying close in. When you come out, that's how you fight the stigma.
Wow. Wow, please, have you been answered? Let's check out the backbenchers.
Backbenchers, just something.
Yes.
Yeah, me as cause right now I'm just taking the crown of the king of the backbenchers. And if I come in, and first and foremost, I want to thank you for the courage, because it's not easy for someone to come out and say that I'm positive, and even coming up and winning the crown, yet you are not given, but someone coming up and walking around with that, what is it called?
The sash.
The sash.
Some
The
call it
sash
a
with,
scarf, a slash, but it's the sash.
yeah, with the Y plus, because some people feel shy and some people like they fear because some people might condemn them, or even the way some people see them. So it's nice to me. And what I'm asking is like, how does it feel to you about these people that still stigmatize the HIV stroke AIDS? How does it feel to you, and what's your dream? Because right now you have that poster, and I think a lot of people are depending on you to see why following your lead. Yep.
Yeah. I think to his question also, now becoming Mr. Y Plus, does that protect you of stigmatization?
Wow. Thank you.
Yes.
Very important question, and thank you for enlightening me on that question. Now, the thing about being Mr. Y Plus is it actually attracts a lot of stigma on you.
Sure.
It attracts a lot of negativity for people that hate the campaign. How many of us know about Pastor Sempa? He's actually advocating against the campaign. He went on his social media and said such a campaign should be ended. We do not need people to come out and say today I miss gonorrhea, I miss this, I miss this. So his campaign is against us. So now, the reason as to why we stand is because, first of all, we've been empowered. Number two, if we fall, how are we showing other people there that are positive? Remember, the entire aim about the campaign is to give hope to those that are positive and are struggling down there. So if we cower, if we hide, if we decide to surrender, then we have lost the power and we cannot empower those that are down. So we are not strong enough not to be stigmatized. We face it, but now, from my example, we help those that are suffering down there to also get the courage. How do you deal with the stigma? Yes, so that is what we do as Y plus ambassadors.
So up to date, you still go through stigma. Do people still stigmatize you too?
Well, I do not say that I go through it, but it comes. It comes. People say
Or it comes
things.
to you?
Yes, but now I have learned, we've now been taught how to manage stigma by speaking out. When someone tells you something, you speak out. You know, you continue having dialogues about HIV like we're doing now. So it is more about you continuing to speak about yourself and about HIV rather than hiding. Because when you hide, it's like you've surrendered to the words people are saying. They call you useless. Because I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of ambitions that I want to pursue. But stigma can end then if I decide to keep quiet and maybe listen to the negativity. So it is fighting it that makes you defeat the stigma.
Wow. Wow. And there's a lot of knowledge that I'm also gaining from this conversation. But we still have backbenchers. Yes. Who is coming in next? Yes. Your name, then.
Mugabe Sherry. I'm forgetting the name of Mr. Y plus
Trevor.
Trevor, thank you for the opportunity. And I have like 3 questions. How many am I supposed to
Really,
ask?
first ask one, then we.
Trevor, as in, what kind of advice would you give like to the fellow youths? Nowadays we have a slogan that say majority of the teens in the community, they normally say, instead of me conceiving or getting pregnant, I rather acquire HIV. Like there is that tendency, we no longer fear HIV like it was before, but we fear the pregnancy more.
Okay, let me answer one at a time.
Yes.
So the first thing is also, this is also a disclaimer. We are not marketing HIV. By me saying I'm HIV positive, I am not selling it. So that someone also asks, how do I become HIV positive? We are not marketing HIV in any way, and we do not speak of benefits of being positive. No. So now, about that, one thing we should understand is we are on a fight to end AIDS by 2030. And so whatever initiatives we have are to make sure we reduce new infections as much as possible. So for us, when we go to communities, we are telling those who are negative, please stay negative. Use the condoms. If you're in a discordant relationship with someone who is positive, use PrEP. Use those medications that help you stay negative, such that we do not have new infections. The game is rough when you become positive. It is not as good as people may assume. So stay negative, make sure you use condoms, abstain if you're still young, that is for those who are below 10, below 18. And for those that have partners, be faithful. Do not, those 3 mechanisms still work, the ABC, abstain, be faithful, and use condoms. Make sure you stay negative.
Wow, we're going to take a short break. Then when we come back, we still have 2 more questions from her, and then another question, and then we shall also be going to wrap up this, but then we will have most of your questions answered. Thank you so much. Let's come back after that break. Yes, welcome back from that short break. Meanwhile, we are here with Mr. Y Plus. That is Trevor. He's the crown owner for now, Mr. Y Plus 2022-2023, and we are having a very wonderful conversation about young people living with HIV and what happens before I open up, and also what happens, what are the consequences when I open up, because I know opening up is pretty rough. I know living with it also, you being the fact that you're positive is also rough, but I also know that opening up is also one big step.
Yes.
That someone takes, and of course I think we pick it up from there. We go back to the questions, and then we get to know. But we want to know, how was opening up like to you? I mean, did your parents push you to open up? Did you decide by yourself that you want to open up? And then when do you get to know that you're even HIV positive? Yeah, because I mean, someone might be out there and they're living, they don't know that they're positive. Tomorrow they go for testing and they're positive. You don't know, and we would love to know, when do you get to know that you're positive? How did you handle it? And did you get influenced to open up, or it was just upon your will?
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother.
Yes.
And our presenter for today. So about opening up, I could take a whole day talking about my journey, but let me
Just cut it
in a
short.
nutshell. So first of all, I was born with it, but I got to know that I was born at 12 years old. When I started getting ill. Before I used to take medications, and my mom used to give them to me, and she used to tell me they are for brightness, to be bright in class. And I was doing well in class, so I used to think these are mind boosting pills. It was not until time when my friends in class knew how ARVs look like that they started telling me, these are ARVs, this is from Tasso, this is from this.
Yeah.
So it took me time. To cut the long story short, I got to know I was positive at 12, and then it took me again a lot of time to stabilize and understand what it was being positive. And so being here, I can say it's a process of mentoring, monitoring.
It's not just a one-day thing.
No, it's not a one-day thing, and that's why we are discouraging new infections, because it takes time for you to internalize that. Now, opening up in medical terms is called disclosure, and then it begins with one-on-one. If it's a girlfriend, if it's a friend, someone that you wish to know that you're positive, it's a process as well. The first person I disclosed to was my roommates in campus. Yeah, that is not campus. I did that in high school, but then campus as well.
Yeah.
So you first of all take some time to understand this person's perception of HIV. How
Yeah.
do they understand HIV? What would be their anticipated reactions?
Yeah.
And then after calculating that, you can open up and tell them. Whatever happens, it's upon them, but for you, you've done your part. Now, this community disclosure, the opening up, was the very difficult one, because people knew I was doing HIV work, but people did not know that I was actually positive. So for me coming out, I started using social media, talking about my status, and then I did it live. I went for the campaign, because we all know the campaign is for people living with HIV. And so I have received a lot of views, both positive and negative.
To your inbox?
Congratulations and attacks from people that
People are attacking you?
Yeah, people are attacking me. People are telling me homosexuality. I mean, HIV is for homosexuals. You guys are positive because you are maybe gays, something like that. Or people are telling me you're positive, you are going to infect people, you've already infected us. So it's also tough. It needs you to be mentally tough as well, to make sure that you sieve out the negativity and continue with the positivity, and of course encouraging those that are going through that.
To me this means now one of the ways of empowering young people living with HIV is to make them mentally strong, be able to fight, because I mean they have no control over whoever is going to talk to them in whatever way they wish. But then I think now from your own perspective, to me it feels like they have to mentor these people to be able to protect themselves from all this kind of stigmatization. Is that true?
Most of the assistance that we give in HIV is counseling, and it goes with a mentor. Because when you're depressed, trust me, that virus is going to affect you so badly, and the depression comes from the stigma that you face. So you have to make sure that your mind is armed with the right information, with the right attitudes. Because even if you have people that love you so much and you stigmatize yourself, you will never recover. You will never recover. But then if you have a lot of stigma outside and you believe firmly in yourself, you will never be affected. You will move smoothly. So that is what we do.
Wow. It's not a smooth ride. It's never a smooth ride, I guess, from our conversation. Yes. Someone else who has a question. Someone had a question. Yeah.
So my last question,
Yes.
me as a student, I'm asking, does your campaign go, do you reach out to some schools, like with the students, and you tell us how we can prevent, how we can be stronger? Okay, we are studying with some people who are HIV positive, but they are already stigmatized. So how can you help with the students in school?
Okay, that is how can we help the students in schools. Another question so that we can push them chap. Yes, you had another question.
Yeah. For me, my other question is, to me, I'll call it a myth and misconception people have towards HIV. But in our communities, people do still believe that HIV is due to witchcraft, and others are still in denial that they have refused to go for medication. Instead of going to hospitals for medications that in case someone is found that he or she is HIV positive, what they do, they have decided to run to the religious side. They go to churches, they go to mosques, because there is this thing that they can pray for you.
And you get healed.
And you get healed.
By now, I was about to come to that point. Can I get healed when they pray for me? And yes, I'm a very staunch Christian, and I believe God will heal me. What advice would you give such a person? I think it's the same thing. There are myths and misconceptions. Of course, we do not want to say God does not heal. I mean, God is the overall supreme being, and He has all the powers to do anything. There's nothing impossible to Him. But what would you tell someone who is HIV positive and still has that conception, of things? And also, the first question is, how are you helping children in schools, teenagers in schools that are living with HIV? Because I guess there are very many, and sometimes it is very hard to come up and open up until one day some guy is looking for nothing in your suitcase and they see this, or you've forgotten it in class and they see this. So we want to know.
Okay. So I'll make the answers also brief. Please, you're the only one whose name I'll go with today. So let me answer you first. So just yesterday, I was at Rainbow International School. That is down there at Kansas.
Yes.
And mainly I was sharing about stigma, because we realized that stigma is very strong in schools. And now what we are doing is, it's no longer the students. We have to go now to the school itself, the administration, the teachers, the matrons. You find out that they're the ones that actually tell the children that so and so is positive, do not
Stay away from them.
Yes, stay away from them. So we are working to see that the system, the laws in school can favor people to have their medication and take them at a favorable time.
And also protect them.
And protect them from those attacks. So if there is someone, if there is a matron, there is someone that can take care of those medications, let them be a person that is open and free and not stigmatizing the child as well. And so we are going to also talk to the children. That's
in
what
schools?
Yes, in schools. How do you perceive someone who's positive? You know, this is a very active age. But then do you pull someone down? You have to love them, respect them, they're just like you. So if you're not comfortable speaking about your status, do not do it. Please, we advise that you do not actually right now.
No one is forcing you to.
No one is forcing you. We are not saying because you see Mr. Y Plus, you're also going to. But if you feel it's your conviction and you manage the side effects that come with it, then you. But we strongly advise against it until the right time.
Yes.
So,
to
yes.
her.
Now, the next person is, first of all, for us, we believe a lot in science. HIV We know I am a Christian personally. I'm very God fearing. I love God so much, but I also love my medication so much. Now, HIV is not something that can miraculously disappear, and it's not also something that miraculously comes, that is out of witchcraft. No. We all know that HIV is got through having unprotected sex with an infected partner, sometimes through birth from an infected mother, also through breastfeeding. So those are the ways that HIV is spread, and not through witchcraft. Now, about the cure. Right now, we do not have a cure for HIV, unfortunately.
No cure.
So, we do not have it yet. However, we have very strong medication that curtails and keeps the virus at bay. And you cannot transmit.
Is it possible that when I take this medication, I cannot transmit?
Personally, I have a girlfriend that is negative, and she has never gotten the virus. Meaning there is a way that someone who is positive can stay positive without transmitting the virus. This is through very good adherence.
So does this come from you taking up your medicine, right? Because I don't think anyone else, just any random person can live up to this. Because I think there's two people who can transmit this disease. And also, is there a possibility of me having HIV and then when I test, it comes out negative?
Well, let me start with that last one. Yes, it is very, very true. And right now, if I went for a test, I would show negative.
Really?
Do you know why?
Why?
First of all, it comes from very good adherence to the medication. When you adhere, what we call in the hospitals, you say the virus is sleeping. It does not manifest in the body. Right now, my blood is not infectious. If I cut myself right now, the possibilities of you getting the virus is very minimal, because the virus is at the bone marrow. Now that requires me explaining a lot of science, but there's what we call undetectable equals to untransmittable. Meaning, if your virus is undetectable, then you will not be able to transmit it.
I've faced those people that are still going through the stigma and they haven't gotten the chance to overcome it yet. So I think this is a hope for all of them, and I think this has been a very amazing conversation, right? Yeah, we have had people ask questions, and if there's one that we normally say akatale keka, please, the floor is open. Yes. Anyone? Is there anyone on the camera that wants to ask? Someone is on set.
Thank you, Mr. Whiteglass. I was at the seminar and we had a facilitator that she was positive with AIDS, and she told us she doesn't encourage people who are positive to get partners who are positive. And she gave concrete reasons that...
Wait, people who are positive?
Yeah, with AIDS.
With AIDS, to get a partner who is also positive?
Yeah, with AIDS.
She encourages people who are negative to get people who are positive?
Yes. And the reason she was giving was, if both of you are positive, who will take care of each other when all of you fall sick? And we first thought about those reasons, and to her were valid. If you think about it, if both of you are attacked with the disease, how will each one take care about each other? So, I want to ask you a question from that. Do you encourage people who are positive to get people who are negative, or people who are positive to love people who are negative?
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That's a very interesting.
That's a very interesting.
Very interesting.
If I just
and I really appreciate that facilitator for bringing it that way.
if we leave it to these people, please, would you mind getting someone who is positive?
I'm seriously confused. But the truth is, God knows.
Yes.
If it happens, if God wishes.
If God wishes. How about Caleb?
I can't try to do it.
You can't try to do it. Sherry, you want to? Can you date someone who is positive?
It's a hard question.
No, the question is yes. The answer should be yes.
No.
So, okay, stop. So now we want to know that from his perspective.
Yes.
Because Caleb says,
But
She
manager,
can't today.
it
I'm
depends.
confused. Out there, it is a hard question. Eh? Before Katel will tell you, let me think about it.
No, I
No.
can't.
No, we want to know.
Okay. So once again, I appreciate the way that question came. Now, the only risk for positive partners dating is if both of them are struggling on medication and they both have what we call high viral loads, meaning there is a lot, the virus is stored over the body.
Yeah.
There is a possibility of reinfection. Where
You can reinfect.
yes, because there are different types of HIV.
I didn't know that.
There's also HIV 1, there's HIV 2. Yes, so I could get a virus that actually needs stronger medication because even medication has levels. For example, if you're on third line and I'm in first line, which I'm in first line, and you're doing badly, you could give me that virus that is resistant to my treatment.
I can give you HIV again.
Yes, you can reinfect me.
Me, I thought you get it once. and
No,
you're-
no, no. You can reinfect a partner, and then I would require to take stronger medication, which would really affect me. And that's the only risk. However, if both of you are doing well, there is nothing wrong with both of you getting married. Now, as we've heard, there's still a lot of stigma on dating someone who is positive. But for me, I believe having this relationship depends on how much knowledge you have about each other. When you see me right now, the only difference between us in this room right now
Is
that I am
this.
positive.
Is this.
And this sash. But before I said it, no one really, no one used to look at me differently. But now because I said I'm positive, there is a way. And for me, I've had many negative partners, but it required them to have enough information about how to protect themselves, which medication to take, or ask about my medical records, how I'm doing, because I also have to be responsible when I have a partner who is negative, because I do not want to pass the virus. Yeah. So when you have a positive partner, make sure you follow up with this person. Make sure they are responsible. It is very possible for you to date, and I also encourage it if you are in love. Please let it not be the cutting line off that this guy is rich, he has money, he has everything, but he's positive. No, it should not be a cutting line.
What do you think will happen to me if I wake up? if I wake up and if, maybe we are going to get married. Now the church is asking us to bring this HIV things, and then I'd already proposed, and then results come out, and I'm like, I decide to open up and I say I'm positive. What do you
And
think?
then the bride wants to run. I think even
The bride will be like, "Kati budget here, tujigawane." Yeah, because do you think? Because I'm also imagining that, but I'm also imagining scenarios that are happening these days, of course, with our people. It's going on. There's too much of this going on. People engaging in sexual relationships without even getting to know their partners better. You know, it takes so much courage for one to open up. And sometimes because of the sweet things we go around doing, some people in faith open up. They'll be like, I want to keep this person. If I open up, they will run. They will run. So our question still stands. Would you date someone who is positive? If you're positive, would you date someone who is negative? Would you wish to, or if you're negative, would you date someone who is positive? I mean, that still stands. So we are going up to, this is our last commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to answer those questions and then say, have a nice time. Thank you. Yes, our viewers, we are back with this wonderful conversation. We are all young people, and the question that was still standing is, can you date a partner that is positive? Or if you're negative, can you date, or if you're positive, can you date a partner that is
Negative.
What happens if your partner discloses to you 1 year into the relationship? Those are your questions to answer. But we're still discussing a few things. Of course, I know these are interesting things to discuss, but also is a way that we get to learn different things that we're not aware of. Because I didn't know that we had levels, level 1, line 1, line 2. Eh? And if I'm in line 3, I can reinfect someone who is in level 1, line 1. I didn't know that. I mean, all I knew was HIV. HIV is flat. If you have it, you have it. And the viral load things, I have heard about them, but I'm not so sure when does your viral load becomes too much or becomes too. Yeah. So we want to know, from your own point of view, what do you think are some of the reasons why the viral load is sometimes very high and very low? Then after that, there are questions in the crowd that I want us to use one stone to kill two birds. Yes. Sherry, you had a question?
Yes. My question is, do you happen to have, I wanted to call it like a disciplinary committee, but it isn't the right word. Department, something sort of that, whereby you people, when you meet, you gather, especially the HIV positive ones, because I'm sure you normally have gatherings.
Yes.
I happened to see a scenario on TV whereby a health worker, I think she was frustrated. That, to my imagination, I think she was frustrated. Maybe she had mental issues. Or maybe she's this person who happened to acquire HIV like in a mysterious way. Those were my imaginations towards it. She used to, the injections, she used to first prick herself, then administer the drugs to the, she used to do it more to the children. This tendency of having children, like you get a privacy that we are going to give treatment from this side. And when they happened to, like they happened to know about it, she was like, for her, she wasn't aware that she was what? HIV positive. But she was this old person. It's a hospital. It was in Bugolobi somewhere, sort of a medical center. What do you normally do for those people who seem to be frustrated? Like they want, if like let me imagine, if for me I was raped and I happened to acquire HIV.
It's called intentional infection.
Yes, intentional infection.
I'll not die alone.
Maybe on 100%, like 99.99, I would have been like, even if I was to also infect another person, I wouldn't bother, because it was intentional. So what do you normally do for such people?
People who are at a risk of maybe infecting others, what that you've done for us, because just you giving us part of your time to watch this video is an amazing. So forward it, share it, leave us a comment if you want to, but also we would like to let Mr. Trevor say something lastly before we close up the show.
Thank you so much, dear viewers. If you've reached this last point of our program, I would like to give you my contacts. So just in case you have someone you know who's positive and is struggling, or if you are the one yourself, this is the fastest way you can reach out to me. So I have two numbers. The first one is Airtel. My Airtel number is 0703 366594. 0703 366594. And then my MTN is 0789 178912. 0789 178912. Feel free, let us have a conversation. We are always ready to help. And when you see White Plus, just know we are on for a year and we have our campaign standing. Keep testing, keep standing firm, do not stigmatize, stay healthy.
So like before, when we finish up a show, we always have our own saying that says,
Mwewa
Mwewa.